Well, greetings, everyone. Welcome back to my improvised studio here in the Boogie Down Bronx. Appreciate your stopping by, especially when we got so much going on in the world here today. This is probably a bad day to make a video about anything because we got so much, like I said, going on. Earlier today, this is July 24th, 2024, and earlier today we had the Prime Minister of Israel addressing a joint session of Congress, which is enough news for one day, you would think. Then we also have Trump giving a rally in North Carolina. And then tonight, to top everything off, we have President Brandon, who I believe is going to announce his imminent resignation. There's no other reason for him to have a primetime speech tonight other than to do just that. So I may be proved wrong, but that's my guess. He's going to announce that he's done. He'll be resigning before the end of the month, probably. I guess he's decided that he's embarrassed himself and the country and his teammate, Kamala Harris, quite enough for one lifetime, and he is exiting stage left. And not a minute too soon, I might add. But let me not digress here too far. Purpose of this video here is to challenge an internet hooligan who calls himself Praise the I Am to a presidential style debate. So I guess I bring up the presidential politics to remind people that there is a different type of way to debate. It's a little bit different, quite a bit different actually, than the academic forum where somebody makes a 15-minute opening statement with diagrams and all types of materials and puts everybody to sleep. And then the fellow that follows him does the exact same thing. And by the time he's done, nobody can remember what was said in the first presentation, including the guy who presented it. So I don't think those debates are altogether that useful unless you're a real wonk at this sort of thing. I prefer a presidential style debate where you are speaking from the heart, on your feet, you're giving answers, direct answers to direct questions. And you will either do quite well, like President Trump did a few weeks ago, or you will fall on your face like Brandon did a few weeks ago and be discredited and have to flee the scene like Brandon is fleeing. And perhaps after Praise the I Am, if he foolishly decides to agree to a presidential style debate with me, perhaps he will finally flee the scene. Although I wouldn't count on that, knowing that grifter. At any rate, I wanted to say what got me to thinking about this today. Apparently there's been a little more fan fiction made of me. Now, if you're a deplorable like me, if you've been shadow banned for, years, like I have on all social media, you really can't trust what you see as far as the number of views on YouTube, like my channel. I don't trust how many, when they, there's a number for how many times my videos have been viewed. I don't trust that number. I don't trust the number they give me for how many people have subscribed to my channel. I have no idea how many people have subscribed to my channel, and neither do you. The numbers they give are not honest. They're designed to spin you towards certain conclusions. When I make a comment on somebody else's video and I see there's one reaction and there's like 150 on the comment below me or above me, you're being censored, okay? I've looked at the number of views on my own videos, and a couple of days later, there are less views than there were, the last time I looked. So I know it's not honest. But one way you can gauge what kind of an impact you're having out here is the fan fiction and the videos they make about you. And I've had, I don't know, maybe a dozen videos made about me in the past year, most of them telling me I'm going to hell. All kinds of critical videos made about me. And that, to me, is the best indicator of what sort of impact my own videos are having. I don't trust, like I say, how many times they tell me my video was viewed. I don't know how many times it was viewed. Neither do you. I don't know how many subscribers. I'll never know that stuff. But I can tell what kind of impact I'm having when people get irritated and decide to make videos about me. And let me show you the latest one. Stand by here. Okay, so here's the latest of the critical videos made about me. And like I say, there's been at least a dozen in the past year. And this really tells me that, I'm having an impact. Now, this one was made by this cowardly grifter who calls himself Praise the I Am. Those of you who are in our little Blessed Bible Fight Club out here know who I'm talking about. For those of you who don't, this is one of these unlettered, uncredentialed, unregenerate YouTube false teaching preaching quacks who's got a channel with several hundred devoted followers. And they're basically spiritual hooligans who advocate for free grace. And, the free grace is the idea that you can get to heaven without actually having to be a Christian. And Praise the I Am, as he calls himself. Tom Hohlweg is another pseudonym that he uses, that the Lord knows what his real name is. And he always hides behind some face morphing software, the sort that he used on me here. So anyway, Tom decided to give me another minute's worth of his attention recently. Let's listen to him and see what he had to say this time. I thought it was kind of amusing myself. I hope you do too. Let's see.
I piss on pistis, you free grace morons. My my charismatic church is what's true. How dare you don't believe in my supernatural shenanigans? If you don't expel demons, dance around like a rabid animal, and babble like a retarded pagan in my worship service, then you're not a real Christian like me. I will defecate and urinate on any theological expertise that doesn't comport with my works salvationist.
Yeah, I don't know if you folks are familiar with that. Apparently, there's some sort of AI program where you could take somebody's voice and use it to say whatever words you want to say. I guess you give it a script or something, or you're allowed to speak through it. So I don't know. I find it amusing myself, hearing my own self with somebody else's words. But this is what passes for, intellectual debate at the Praise the I Am channel. And, his fellow spiritual hooligans out there apparently think this is quite an accomplishment here. So let's listen to a few more seconds of it.
Mumbo jumbo. Praise and Charles from Layman's Seminary are just more theologically endowed than me. I can't stand them. That's why I'm scheming to get Charles in a presidential style debate, so I can attempt to hijack the discussion and make Charles look silly.
Well, Charles doesn't need my help to look silly, that's for sure. And I've pretty much resigned hope of having Charles consent to a presidential style debate. We're talking about Charles Jennings of the Layman Seminary. He's another one of these, shall we say, YouTube preaching quacks. Again, another unlettered, uncredentialed, unteachable hooligan on YouTube. He's an attention seeker, somebody who likes to call attention to himself by getting into faux debates with actual genuine academics, people who do have some credentials. And what he does is spam and speed talk his way through these debates so that, you come away, if you're able to actually last through 30 minutes of it, you've come away with nothing. But he likes to pretend that he's a real bona fide Bible scholar, Charles, and a theologian because he attends some unaccredited diploma mill somewhere. At any rate, Charles is not likely to consent to a presidential style debate with me because he would lose his crutch, his charts, which he uses to spam everyone into a stupor. And I've made it clear that, no, you can't do that. If you debate me, you're actually going to have to, say words that mean things and not misdirect our attention to meaningless slides. You're actually going to have to defend your position. So of course, Charles wants no part of that, and neither does Praise the I Am, I'm sure. Let's just finish here.
Man, I'm so smart. These numbskulls will never figure me out. Even though 99% of Greek scholars don't subscribe to my understanding of pistis, I will figure out how to bamboozle people into believing faith must be a continuous work to be saved. I believe.
Yeah, that's 99% of Greek scholars, as if this loon actually even knew one Greek scholar. I would doubt it. But in any case, I have made in my own videos it clear that the pistis word family has been mistranslated by reformers who had an agenda. And unfortunately, that's why we're having these debates to this very day. If you watched any of my videos, you know my position on this, that the context indicates that pisteuo, which is the verb of pistis, words that get translated faith and belief. These words were played fast and loose with, as well as the prepositions, in order to give us a works-free gospel. And works is another word that they have played fast and loose with. Actually, it refers to works prescribed by the Torah for atoning for sin. And it's not talking about helping little old ladies across the street, but you can't, again, these are unlettered, uncredentialed, unregenerate, and unteachable spiritual hooligans who couldn't care less what these words mean, as long as it gives them a license to sin, which of course is what they're all about. Let me put this down for a moment here. And see, I got to go here, my Zoom, and hit the pause. If I can, there. Again, for those of you who may not know who I'm talking about, and there's really no reason why you should know who I'm talking about, but this is the name this cowardly sock puppet hides behind. Praise the I Am, and he uses face morphing software on himself. See if I can find an example of it. Yes, here it is down here. Let me bring this up.
It's basically almost like a warp drive where you're not actually moving through space, you're warping space around you to move. So there's different options for how these things could be traveling. But the bottom line is we see
Praise the I Am is the dopey looking fellow at the top.
They're here. They had to get here somehow.
Right, yeah. And I might push back on the wormhole thing because wormholes, they don't take you.
Yeah, he's the dopey looking fellow here with the glasses on. If you can see where my cursor is. Again, he's a cowardly sock puppet. He hides behind the glass because he doesn't want to own his own words. And of course, he's also kind of a nasty character, and he rightly fears retribution. If people knew exactly who he was and where he lived, he would probably get visits, not from me, but from people out there who he has made enemies of over the years. So this coward who pretends to be a Christian on YouTube actually pretends to be a Christian teacher of some merit, and who has some allies out there in the free grace movement, allies like this other con artist called Donnie Bodinsky, with the ironically named channel Standing for Truth. This is another faux Christian grifter and young earth creationist loon who gives Praise the I Am a platform from time to time to do his faux debates, as well as Charles Jennings, the layman seminary. So the three of them actually are kind of in business together. So let me put this down for a moment here. There I am. Well, I don't know. I'm not expecting much of a response to this, but I will put it out there anyway. Praise, what do you say to a debate, son? Mano a mano. Now, normally I would want to debate somebody with some academic credentials or ministerial credentials, or at least somebody who's been spirit baptized. We know that's not you, but you do have a channel with 5,000 subscribers. So what do you say? Do you have the courage to debate me, or can all you do is make these, these silly little shorts with the face morphing software? Shall we have a real debate, a presidential style debate? Or are you afraid of looking just as stupid as Brandon did a few weeks ago? Well, you'll let me know, won't you? All right, folks, maybe you can encourage him to decide one way or the other. My money is on him remaining the coward that he is and not agreeing to a presidential style debate with Charlie Michaels. We shall see. Have a good night, everyone. And tune in tonight for Brandon, as I predict he will resign, or he will let us know exactly what day he's going to be out of office. And it's not going to be January 20th. It's probably going to be before the end of this month. That's my prediction. We shall see. Have a good night, everyone.